Good morning from Davos and welcome back to our special coverage from here. And we're now into the final stretch line of activities here in Davos. And the theme of this year's event, the spirit of dialogue, is tested than ever before. We're seeing geopolitical fault lines deepening and the tension across the Atlantic are clearly casting shadows on the discussions here, especially for the West. And new perspectives and new voices are rising to the fore, and they are from China, India, and the broader global south. And to discuss that, we're very pleased to be joined today by Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai. He's one of the most respected voices in the media industry in India, and very welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Guan. Thank you very much for having me.
So, Rajdeep, India surpassing, Japan to become the world's third largest economy is presented as an issue of certainty. But there are also discussions about, challenges existing. In your opinion, what will be the most important driving force for India's economy going forward in 2026? And what are the concerns?
Look, first of all, I think it is inevitable that India will become the third largest economy at some stage in the next 2 years. The sheer size of our economy is also means that it's very resilient. We are the fastest growing large economy in the world. We grew at 7.3% in this financial year. We'll probably grow at 6.4% as per IMF estimates. So, and there is an element of macroeconomic stability. Inflation is low. Growth, as I said, is reasonably positive. Obviously, the biggest challenge, and I think this is across the world that is being faced, is that of job creation. How are we going to, in a country as large as ours, we are actually going to be more than China in terms of population? How do you ensure that this large bulge of people, the young, have enough jobs? So I think job creation is going to be our big challenge, particularly with technology playing such a major role now in all our lives over the next 5 years. But purely in terms of growth, I think the signals are positive. But as always with all countries, geopolitics is affecting a trade. It's affecting. That's right. Those are shared challenges, and I think it's important to recognize that India and China in Asia. Just think about it. If we could solve our political problems between the two big neighbors, we could form a major counter force almost to the United States.
Talking about that, the Davos Forum is now as much about geopolitics as it is about economics. But how are those shifting dynamics? How about all those realignments affecting India's strategy to present itself as a leading voice for the global south?
I think what's happening is that, like many other countries, India is also diversifying its relationships. While we are engaged with the United States on a trade deal, we're also about to sign a major trade deal with the European Union. We've just signed a trade deal with some states in the Gulf like Oman. And India, by and large, is looking now at cementing its relationships outside the Western world itself. BRICS, of which China is also a part, shows promising signs of perhaps strengthening itself. If we can, as I repeat, solve our political problems, the boundary dispute with China, I think we will find ourselves in a stronger position. India's strategy now is to ensure that we have friends and allies across the world, not just relying on old relationships, old alliances, but forging new relationships, new alliances. We have a strong relationship with Russia, and India and China are once again talking to each other, which is a good first step. I think we need to have a stronger relationship of mutual benefit to each other, because that's in the interest of the people of both countries.
That's right. I totally agree. I think one misunderstanding about BRICS is not a camp. It's not anti-someone. It's just the constructive partnership within this area. And talking about global South development, there are still many other emerging economies, many underdeveloped regions. China and India are expected to become the two biggest contributor to economic growth in the next 5 years, according to IMF. But how can we share this growth, this momentum with other countries countries and the broader global south? Because we're talking about the digital divide, the underdevelopment of AI in some regions. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, look, I think this is an age of partnerships. And I think if we recognize each other's strengths and we are able to solve some of the long-standing, I repeat, political problems, I think we will move forward in a spirit of trust. I think the key is, you mentioned that this World Economic Forum is the spirit of dialogue. To have a dialogue, you also need to build trust. And China and India are a good example of that. If the leaderships of the two countries can build trust, I think there is so much that we can do together. The problem is there is a lot of mistrust in our country when it comes to China, and that isn't. And unless that trust factor is overcome, it'll be difficult to really have a full-blown relationship. And you need a stronger relationship between major powers in Asia, in my view, to actually be able to get the full benefits of Chinese innovation, Chinese productivity, and Indian ingenuity. I mean, we are also a country full of lots of young talent out there, lots of young startups emerging, technology, pharmaceuticals. There are critical areas where India also can contribute to the global economy. So you need synergies, you need partnerships. So next time, I hope the World Economic Forum will not just speak about the spirit of dialogue, but the spirit of how do you build trust so that you can have a mature dialogue.
Great insight. Thank you very much. Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai, the news anchor and consulting editor with Indian Today Group, talking about how we can build meaningful cooperation in an era of accelerated competition and free interest. And that's all from me from Davos. Back to you to Beijing.